We are officially live yet again on Money Matters, and typically we have a show that runs at 7 a.m. every single morning only on onedealaway.com/live. However, today is a very special day. Aside from it being August 1st, happy dog days of summer, it is also a day where I have actually promised to share with you some information that I have been able to find when it comes to investing in real estate. Now, I do want to point out a couple of different things of where we are in the market right now. I think all of you know that, but nonetheless, I think it's important for us to kind of clear up some of the components and pieces to be able to talk about stuff. Now, we've already done a show this morning at 7, and we focused on crypto, but because I was on a coaching call, what is today? Saturday, so Thursday. Thursday, I was on a coaching call with a client. We talked about many different things, including some of the strategies within real estate. So I was actually teaching her, doing some coaching, right? How to actually review some of the properties and look at some of the properties. And we have come across an old auction that was running that I basically used as an example to show her how we would do certain things. Now, this particular auction was happening in Southern California. So if you are interested in investing in Southern California, live in Southern California, or whatever, or you're just interested in making money and it doesn't matter where the property is located, you absolutely want to listen to this and watch this out, because I'm going to share with you a couple of the strategies that make sense for you, that might make sense for you if you want to participate in this hot market. But before we do that, let's do a little bit of a stinger so that you get to know who I am, and then we'll continue. Fair? Let's do this. All right, I hope you have enjoyed that. Personally, I have. But now let's talk about real estate, right? So one of the things that you may have noticed about real estate, whether by watching Money Matters live every single morning, whether live on onedealaway.com or watching this on YouTube as a replay, it doesn't matter. You have likely been learning that real estate is a very, very peculiar thing that's been sort of heating up like crazy. Houses are going like hotcakes. And I always keep saying, I don't want to participate on the side where I have to actually fight with somebody to get a property. I want to be on a side that sells the property that other people fight for. Right? So I want to be a seller right now in this market, because it is a seller's market. It's not a buyer's market. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, a buyer's market is where buyers have so many opportunities, so many options. There's way more sellers than buyers that they can pick and choose, right? The supply is larger than the demand. Right now, that's not where we are. Demand is super, super high and heating up. Supply is super, super low. And so right now, it's seller's market. What that basically means is that you as seller have ability to benefit a great deal where you can list a property, typically can sell it within weeks. Now, of course, I can't promise or guarantee anything. Please understand that. But you have a greater potential that you're going to get multiple bids, multiple offers. They're actually going to build the price up, and you're going to be able to exit your position, in this case, sell real estate property at a much higher price than you originally thought. Now, this is sort of lovely, right? But how does this work if we were to think through, for example, of where we are right now, right? Like, how does that actually work? Right? Because if you have a property, cool, you can go in and sell it, right? Makes sense. But what happens if you don't have property? Like, what do you sell? How do you benefit from the market in that case scenario? Well, here is one of the simple ways that you can do that. And one of those simple ways is to actually purchase discounted properties. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, buying a discounted property means that you can go out there, find a property that is being sold at a discount. Now, being sold at the discount has many, many benefits. One of those benefits is that you can actually find an amazingly great property at a fraction of what the value is, a fraction of the price, if you would. The benefit of that is that you are not necessarily competing with the whole market. You're not competing with everybody out there, but rather you are benefiting from it. So let me switch the screen for a moment. Hopefully you can still see me. And right here, let's play pretend that you have a house, right? And this particular house, let's say it's valued at $100,000. Fair? Now, you could, of course, go into the today's market and buy it by $100,000. You probably actually have to bid it up and maybe even have to pay, I don't know, $130,000. As a seller, that's pretty cool. As a buyer, not so much, especially because my prediction model says that real estate as a whole is going to go down in price over the upcoming months, right? So what you want to do is you want to get this property right over here that is valued at $100,000, but find a location where you can buy this thing for, I don't know, say $20,000. Pretty awesome, right? 20K, not just $20, 20K. I don't know that you can find a house for $20, but hey, if you do, you let me know because I want to play as well. So this is kind of what we're looking to do. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, wait a minute, Nev. Such a thing doesn't really exist. Okay, so maybe not. It just depends on where you're looking. Right now, if you go in a traditional market, you likely won't be able to find that stuff. But there is what I call a discounted properties that are available for sale. These discounted properties are sometimes known as distressed properties. Now, they're distressed because truly they could be distressed, meaning like, you know, the roof is missing or you got to replace all of the plumbing or the electrical and that kind of stuff. But sometimes those properties are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're fully updated. The only reason they're called distressed is because of how they're being sold, meaning somebody foreclosed on them. Sometimes that could be a bank. Sometimes that can be a county. So there's different reasons and ways why and how you would get this stuff. The bank foreclosures, of course, exist today, and they're probably going to continue to exist in the near future. I actually expect them to go up in about 18 to 24 months plus minus. And if you've been watching the show, you kind of understand the timeline and understand I can't say exactly, but I expect them to start to go on a rise in late 2021 into 22 and 23. At that point, I think participating in the bank foreclosures will make sense. We also have IRS foreclosures. Say you didn't pay your taxes, right? The IRS has a potential to go in, take over your possessions, and sell them so that they can recoup on the taxes in addition to locking you up, probably. So there's another way, and those are called county tax sales. And here, this is the part that we're actually going to be teaching you a strategy right here, right now, on Money Matters, sponsored by One Deal Away. A quick thing about One Deal Away. One Deal Away is a company that I have started. It's a financial education and literacy company that helps you understand how you can actually benefit from simple ways that you can do right now in any economy to preserve and potentially grow your wealth. One of those ways, of course, is proper money management. Another way is by proper investing. And today, One Deal Away is sponsoring this content right now, where I'm going to teach you some components absolutely free so that you can learn and be able to benefit right now from what's happening in this hot market. So here's kind of what the strategy looks like, right? So we're going to go back to my little drawing over here. Hold on just a second, right? And so you can see that, let's say there's this property that I want to buy, right? I'm going to move it over here. And now, let's say I buy it for $20,000, right? Let me change the color. Let's go with this guy. And now, once I actually own the property, right, I get the nice little deed. What I will do is I will actually link it on the market. You can do that, say, on Facebook Marketplace, for example. And I say, hey, I have this property. It's up for sale. Now, the market value is $100,000. I paid $20,000. So that means I can go in and list this puppy for $100,000. Now, if I want to get a faster sale, maybe I can actually list it for as much as only $80,000, be able to sell it, and boom, once it sells, guess what? If I end up paying $20,000, right here, and I end up selling it for $80,000, that means I have made a cool $60,000, and you can typically do this in a matter of a few short months, which I think makes this strategy incredibly potentially lucrative. Now, here's kind of how we can do this piece, and I'm going to show you what actually exists on the market. This is the auction that just closed recently, so it is not live, but it is nonetheless important aspect for all of us to be able to take a look at and learn. And we're also going to point out some errors that some of the folks that have decided to go in and invest in have actually done. So this first property right over here is located in Riverside County, Riverside, California. Now, if you don't know where Riverside, California is, it is located about an hour, hour and a half, depends on the traffic. It could be 5 hours sometimes, west on I-10 from LA. So if you go from LA, you jump on I-10, which is the Interstate Highway 10. You drive east, not west, sorry, that's an ocean. East of LA, you drive, you will actually hit Riverside County. So it's not that far from LA. Now, this particular asset, as you can see, was sold for $335,000, right? Okay, $335,300 to be exact. And of course, we have 66 people that have actually built on this particular property. The starting bid for the property was $133,000. You can see the address. You're welcome to research as well. But for your purpose, I've actually pulled up the property, and this is the house that we're looking at. Not too shabby, right? It doesn't look all that bad. We can go in. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is escape the view, and I wanted to come in and show you where this thing is located. As you can see, there is Riverside right here. Here's Anaheim, right? Here's LA. All right, let me move it. There's LA, right? So this is where Riverside is, okay? And this is where this particular property is located. And of course, by utilizing the Google Mapping service, you can actually take a quick look and be able to see what the property we're talking about. So it looks like, sure, you know, you can actually probably need to fix the driveway a little bit. There's a little bit of overgrowth, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, new paint, that kind of stuff. And this puppy is fixable. Overall, when you take a look at the neighborhood, which you can also do from Google Maps, look, it's a beautiful little suburban neighborhood that, you know, there's nothing that raises flags for me here. This is one of the pieces that you definitely want to look into. Now we're going to jump in and take a look at, remember how much the thing was? It started at $133,548, and it sold for $335,300. Now, one thing that you can also do right over here is scroll down, and guess what? The website actually gives you the assessed value of the whole thing. Now, the assessed value obviously says there's an improvement, which is a house, there's a land, which of course is the land, and then there's the total assessed value. From looking at this, you see that the assessed value is $120,427, right? So they have actually purchased this for way more than the assessed value, right? Almost 2.5 times more. Now, what I like to do, oh, you can't see this. Sorry, I didn't change this. My apologies. So right over here, you can see the assessed value, right? Sorry about that. And you can see 52,681 improvements, 67,746 land, altogether $120,427 is the assessed value. And the assessed value is what is being used for taxes. Right over here, you can actually see what the taxes are and for what year. You can learn a whole lot more about this place, right? You can click on many different things, and we'll probably end up clicking on it. But you can see that right now it's assessed at $120. It sold for $335. So it sold for almost 3 times the amount of money. Now, what I like to do right now is when I do this stuff, I also like to jump on a place called Zillow. Now, Zillow might not be all that accurate, but it still provides a bit of information. And here is what Zillow had to say about the exact same property. Here it is, exact same property, same address. In case you don't believe me, There you go. You can see right here, compare and compare, right? So I just copy pasted, nothing magical happening here, but you will see something very interesting. Zestimate says while not 100% accurate, it is a good starting point. It basically says that now this house is estimated to be valued at 363,972. So let's call that 364,000. How much did it sell for? 335. Potentially making this individual a profit, potentially, right, if they're able to get this estimate of about $30,000, more or less. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby in an as is case scenario. Now, they might go in, they might be able to go and fix up because, again, if you will recall from the image, there's definitely some components that we can look to improve. And one of those is a little bit of paint, of fixing the stuff, maybe improving the front yard and the that kind of stuff. Clean up the bushes maybe a little bit. I don't know what the back looks like, but those are the components that you can do. Of course, if you're curious as to what the back looks like, all you got to do is use Google Maps, right? You kind of zoom in like this, click on the satellite right here. All right, let's zoom in. And right now you can see this is the street we were on. Here's the little cracked driveway that we looked at. And as you can see, there's a backyard. We can't see what's going on in the backyard at all, but it gives us room for improvement, doesn't it? So that is a potential of what this individual might do. I don't know. They might also say, you know what? I might rent this thing and collect a cool $1,850. Now, rental to price ratio doesn't make sense to me based off of what they paid. They will actually end up potentially losing some money. But again, people do all kinds of different things, and who am I to judge? And you can see that right here what the rent estimate is right over here. Again, not perfect science, but at least it gives you some sort of idea of what we might be talking about and what might be happening here. Was this a great investment? I don't know. You tell me. I don't think it was as amazing as it could have been. Now, we do have a few other properties. Here's another one. This is a different property that was sold for $90,000. The minimum bid started at $10,000. There were 113 different bidders for this particular piece. We can go in and do the same thing. I can copy. I can go right over here. Let's go to Zillow. Why don't we go to Zillow right now? And I'm going to basically paste, search, and boom, I'm going to come up with the property within seconds. Now, this one has an estimated value of $222,000, and the price was only, no, this is the one that we looked at, the price they paid is $90,000. Let's do a little bit of math. If this estimate says that it's $220,000, but you paid $90,000, I think that this particular buyer, whoever they is, the winner right over here, has made a much better decision when it comes to just pure numbers. Not only that, but you will see that when we switch over here, you will see that the rent estimate on this one is $1,500, but they only paid $90,000, which math tells me they can rent, they can sell, and this person has a much greater probability and profitability when it comes to making money. Okay, so now let's I just want to go in a quick calculator. So we're going to take 220 minus 90, right? We're not going to do the fees and that stuff. So this person right over here stands a potential to make a cool $130,000 potentially. Now they can list it for a little bit less, potentially selling it a little bit faster, and still getting multiple bids, which could drive the price to be way more than the Zillow's estimate of $220,000. This could be a very, very cool and much more profitable way. Don't believe me that these exist? Let's do more of them. Here is another property. This asset was sold for $135,200. $200. The starting bid was $15,855. I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. This one happens to be located in Palm Springs, California. I'm going to copy all, delete, paste, and go. And next thing you know is, well, I am not getting anything within this area. Very, very, very interesting. But what I might be able to do is find a different mapping piece. And if you can't do that, sometimes this happens. Hold on just a moment. Here we go. We can't find it because it looks like it's a condominium. So we could potentially try to look in Google Maps, okay, and see if we could find out this particular piece. And yeah, it looks like it is a condominium. Oh, look how beautiful this condo is. It looks like this particular property has 3 pools, 3 hot tubs. I am going to assume that they have, plenty of parking, it looks like. And, I'm going to assume that they're going to have a gym and that kind of stuff. So while we might not be able to find the specific property within here, what we could potentially do is look at some of the prices within the zip code, right, that we have pulled up, that is going to give us a rough estimate. Now, another piece that we can do and that we're going to do is that we're going to take a look at this property right over here that sold for $132,000. Scroll down, take a look at the assessed value is only $79,000. This particular person, I'm going to argue, has made a terrible deal in my personal and professional opinion. They have paid $135,000 for something that is assessed at only under $80,000. And unfortunately, I am not necessarily doing the full-blown research that I would typically do had I been wanting to actually participate in this deal. But I am just doing it on the fly right here with you to give you some thoughts and ideas of how you can do this stuff and how you too can participate in it. So this particular deal that we just saw here, I am going to say that this particular person over here who is a winner may be a loser in this whole game, especially if we consider that the market might actually go down. But I am not done yet. We have another property that could potentially be a winner. Here we go. This asset was sold for $30,000. Just in case you were saying, wait a minute, Nev, 130, 90, 130, like that's too much money for me to put down. Is there something cheaper? Well, yes, we have found something much cheaper, and here is one of the cheaper pieces that we have found. Sold for $30,000. Starting bid was just over $3,000. 134 people bid on it. We can take a look and see that the assessed value is only $18,691. But it is an improvement. I don't know much about this one. So what I will do is, again, copy the address. We're going to go into the mapping service component right over here. We are going to paste the address. And let's take a look at what are we talking about here. We are talking about a mobile home, just as I thought we would be based off of the price. How did you know that, Nev? Well, it's very simple. You take a look at the improvement price right over here. Anything that is $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you can easily assume that it's going to be a much smaller, a much older, and potentially some sort of manufactured property, manufactured kind of house. Anything that is about $60,000-ish on up to about $90,000 to $100,000, you can expect that it's going to be a normal kind of stick-built house, as they call it, which is basically that wood house that most houses are built in the United States. And anything larger than that is likely going to be a much larger type of house. In my personal and humble opinion, do I think that this person made a great deal? I don't know. Let's see if we can find out information from Zillow. And Zillow basically says that it estimates this particular house, right? Here is assessed value is $18,000. This individual paid $30,000, but Zillow says it's valued at $82,000. Did they make a good deal? I would say potentially yes. Now, we never know if a deal is really great until you end up selling it. Of course, this person can also rent it for 1,295 per month. Let's say this rented at 1,200. Let's say 12. Hold on, just a moment. I'm doing calculations right now. 12 per month at 12. You were looking at 14,000 over 30K. We are looking at a potential return if they were to rent this little guy right over here, this guy right over here, this guy right over here, and they rent it at only $1,200 a month. They have a potential to get a 48% return on their investment in just one simple single year. I would say this person likely has made an excellent deal. Now, what are we learning through all this stuff, right? You can't just solely focus on price. You can't solely just focus on the looks. You gotta do your research and understand. Assessed value is only a portion of what you want to learn. Price is only a portion of what you want to learn, but you want to understand what is the market price, right? What is potential that you can sell? You want to look at where this thing is located. You want to come up with some sort of strategy on your end. Are you looking to live in it? Are you looking to rent it? Are you looking to resell it, flip it? What do you want to do? That's the pieces that you need to understand. And then you need to understand what is your maximum price so that you don't do what a couple of the folks we've covered here have done, which is overpaid on the price of what they might be able to do. Now, I don't understand what their strategy is. Maybe they were just looking for a place to live. Maybe they know something that we don't know because we didn't do as deep of a research. What you want to do is do a super deep research on these particular properties before you commit in buying them whatsoever. So that's one piece that you want to do for sure, right? Before you do anything. Now, we've just done a very simple kind of research right now where I just took you through some very easy components that you can do right now and you can mimic on your own end. But what you can do and what you should do is that if you don't know how to do the investing in it, how to research that stuff, I invite you to come and join me on One Deal Away. You can simply take this long place that I kept. It's called Real Estate on the Cheap. Real Estate on the Cheap is actually priced at $199. And for $199, if you actually go to onedealaway.com/real estate on the cheap, or just simply click on the products and you will find Real Estate on the Cheap, you can simply click add to the cart and you're going to be able to get in and get all of the research. It comes with all kinds of cool pieces, including you can come in here, learn more about the cool way to learn about the prospects of it. You will actually get multiple different books. You will get the Book of Deeds, you will get the Quick Start, you will get the workbook, and you will get Real Estate on the Cheap Challenge book, right? All of that stuff, total value is well over $20,000. And of course, we're going to be spending a bit of time talking about the mindset, right? So we spend, it's sort of a challenge / study at home kind of deal. Where you're going to go in, you're going to jump in. It's going to be a 3-week course piece where for 3 weeks solid, I come in. We're going to talk about the mindset, what you need to be thinking about, how to structure it, what your strategy should be, how to think about it, where's the money, how to structure your financials when it comes to buying this stuff, where your brain should be, and how different components should be when you go into these auctions so you don't get caught up in the moment. I teach you all of that stuff. In addition to that stuff, from these books right over here, you will actually learn how the whole process works. And the workbook is kind of cool because it gives you an ability to create your own personalized strategy of how to participate in these things. Once you go in and you're able to find something like this guy right over here, or gal, I don't know who it is, found, and they paid $30,000 for something that they can rent for almost 50% return on their money, or sell it for a cool profit of about $50,000 Now that is what I call, I mean, $50,000 return. Return. You put in 30 and it spits out 50. That is the power of this whole thing. And if you want to learn how to do that stuff, all you got to do is just go on onedealaway.com and you're going to go click on product, and you're going to scroll and find real estate on the cheap, right? And you can see that it's only $199, and you're going to be able to get the whole thing. So this is what the product page look like right over here. You'll find it right down here, right? So you'll see that there's many other courses, and you could potentially get a $50 card. So it could even be a discount for you as well. You can also join the academy if you'd like. And this is part of the academy, including all of these courses that you see here. An academy is only $50 a month, no long-term contract. So you can have a myriad of ways that you choose of what you want to do. So if you want to benefit from this stuff and be like just like this person right over here, that they basically put in $30,000, get $82,000 back, a profit of $50,000 back. So that's almost 200%, that's almost 2x return on your investment, which could be accomplished within a few short months. You definitely want to join the challenge right now if you want to learn how to do all of that stuff. So thanks for watching. I hope you have learned something new. If you have enjoyed it, click that like button right now. Do subscribe for more educational context. And of course, I will see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. when we're going to continue our conversations about cryptocurrencies and ways that you can profit there. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.